We've gone to sea, under the sea, into jungles, and across hell itself. We've faced vampires from 30 years ago, and discovered crossover worlds from card games. Well, now we journey into a realm where we can become gods. This is the latest book from Wizards of the Coast, and is it any good? I have no idea. This is my first look, and my honest reaction, to Mythic Odysseys of Theros. Hello and welcome to How to Be a Great GM. My name is Guy, and we're taking a first look and first impression and honest reaction to Mythic Odysseys of Theros. I should point out, before we even start, that I am still under contract from Wizards of the Coast for the work that I did for them last year. And in that contract it says I'm not allowed to say anything negative about their products. So I won't be screaming and shouting about how bad the book is. I can, however, point out what is in their product and what I would add if there is something missing, or what I drop if there was something that seemed odd. So with that in mind, I have also not opened the book. It arrived and I unpacked it, and it sat on my shelf waiting, quite literally, for today. So it really is a first look. Okay, so how do I review a book that gets put in front of me? Because I get quite a lot of books that are put in front of me. Well, what I do is I look at what do I expect from the cover, and what do I expect from the write-up on the back. What content do I think is going to be in here? I haven't watched any other reviews, by the way, so it's completely just drawn from that. I then look at the book, and I'll take a couple hours to read it, and you'll get to see me reading it very fast thanks to time-lapse. Now, I then reflect upon what I expected and what we were given, and then how much of what we were given is actually worth it, and then is it actually worth the cost of the book. So that's the method. Now, with that in mind, I can tell you about my expectations of the book. The back says, choose a supernatural gift that sets you on a path of destiny. Align yourself with one of Theros' 15 gods and carve a tale of odysseys and ordeals across the domains of mortals, gods, and the dead. Well, so I expect the setting to be fairly rich. It's based on Magic the Gathering's card games world of the same name that they created, so they've had time to develop it there, and so now it should have been developed further here. They speak of 15 gods. I hope it's not Zeus, Apollo, and Aphrodite, because otherwise it's not Mythic Odysseys of Theros, it's Mythic Odysseys of Greece. Now, I expect that there is a way to become a deity. I don't know how they're going to reconcile a level 20 character versus that, for example. I mean, how much more power do you actually need? Do we have to play from level 1 all the way to level 20 first? Or do we start at level 10? How do they handle that? I expect hoplites. I expect vindictive gods. Monsters of Greek lore, but with a twist or with a development, sort of something that takes them beyond that. We've got gorgons, we've got immortal lions, we've got harpies, we've got, what's new? Oracles, prophecies, portents, magical items. These are things of Homer's Iliad, and I need new takes on these in the book. I'd like to see triremes and nautical stuff, sirens, mermaids, harpies on cliffsides. I want to see how they balance the idea of a party of heroes versus a single hero. Most of our myths and legends from the classical era, arguably the inspiration behind the setting, feature a single hero with sidekicks who might have some ability, but never the godling ability. So how does the book suggest we handle 5 demigods? That's a pretty powerful force. Traditionally, the gods tended to eat those, or curse them, or, do horrible things to them that posed a threat to them. 5 PCs could be a significant threat, so I want to see how that is handled. I want to also see how the PCs interact with the gods, how they handle that kind of stuff. So those are my expectations. I'm going to read the book now. So whilst Darren Curtis, who wrote the music, plays, you can just see what I thought of it. At the end, I'll reveal my final thoughts. And by the way, if you like this video, share it with your friends. Building our community is a great way to support the channel. And if you'll excuse me, I now get to read the book. The roots of Theros lie in the myths of ancient Greece, tales dominated by gods, heroes, and monsters. I have to say, just the first page, page 5, it certainly got my interest. Just what they're outlining of each in the chapters. I think that's a really nice introduction. I kind of wish this was on the back of the book. I mean, it's like, that didn't sell me. And, I mean, it's a nice picture, but if they'd put this page on the back of the book, bought, sold. Sorry for the audio, by the way. I've had to swap microphones and things around. You can see the camera for the book is... Anyway. So far, page 5, probably buy the book, if I hadn't already. This little paragraph, you can't even see it. There's a little paragraph at the bottom called Dreams of Divinity, and I'm purposefully keeping it blurred, by the way, because you've got to buy the book. You can't just download the video and print it out. I mean, that would take ages, but... There's a thing in here about dreams and bringing gods into reality through dreams. I love that. Classic idea. Okay, so... wow. Okay, this is... I mean, I love these tableaus. These are really cool. It's exactly what you think of when you think of Greece. The porticos, the frescoes, and in the relief, all those kinds of carving techniques and wonderful things that I've forgotten about. I do like it when creators pay homage to that which inspired them. And there's a lovely little entry here, such as the case of the nameless champion in the renowned epic The Theriad. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, very nice, like that. Yeah. Loving it. Languages, lovely entry on languages and the different languages that are spoken. Not a lot of languages, but that's okay. I mean, we very seldom have lots of languages. It's more along the lines of the gods have a language that they speak and only perhaps oracles can understand. Remember, that was one of the expectations that I had. So very happy so far. Beautiful illustration. I mean, that's what we expect, though. Magic the Gathering did a lot of the artwork, I would assume, and that's what they've just drawn across from. So a centaur, I mean, it's just stunning artwork. Absolutely stunning artwork. So far, I'm impressed. I really am. I wish, as they say in the game, I wish it was something I could rage against because that makes for a better video, but I can't. It's just exactly what you would expect from a Theros campaign. That really, I'm sold. I really am sold. Character creation. Okay. Okay, so unfortunately my recording cut out after 17 minutes. I don't know why. So I thought, well, I could start again and do the recording or try and sneak in. In the end, I decided not to. So I've just finished reading the book. I have to say, Mythic Odysseys of Theros ticks almost every box that I was looking for. There are wonderful rules on fighting the gods, on epic adventures. There's no trireme, but I kind of guess you can get that from the galley in Ghosts of Saltmarsh. There are quite a few references to the other books that they've released. It makes sense. This is a commercial venture for them. We've got... they did bring in hoplites, which is quite nice. Not a class for players, sadly, but quite a nice monster. The monsters they've got in here, they don't have the Golden Fleece. They have the Nyx Fleece, which is lovely. Nyx is like the universal space filled with stars. There's rules on playing Minotaurs and playing Satyrs and playing Leonin, the catfolk, Tabaxis on steroids, basically. There's magical items which you'd expect. The gods that they've written up, the gods work really well. There's no Zeus or Apollo here. There are definitely gods that are embodiments of that, but that's standard mythology. There's a god of the sun and the storms and sea. There's exactly what you would expect. And I think that for me is a win. I have read many of the campaign settings for these types of things before, and I have to admit, a lot of the previous books, there were more adventures than anything else, and that for me is boring. I'm going to make my own adventures up. There's a whole section here where it talks about what kind of adventures you could create for your games, but they don't detail the actual adventure. They say, right, if you want to have an adventure involving this god, this is how the god could be a villain, this is how the god could be a hero, these are the kinds of quests that these gods are going to be giving. This is, in my opinion, what the settings books should be. Opportunities for you as the game master to be able to use the material here. A player getting this book, they're going to use one chapter out of this book, maybe two if they want to learn up about the gods. And there's some lovely stuff about them working for the gods and earning piety points and really just making a difference, which is brilliant. It's really, really brilliant. I can't find fault with this book, except for the fact I hate the map that's in the book. Now, I'm not saying that because of Dungeon Fog. There are temple maps and there are lots of little maps of potential locations for adventures in the book. They're functional, they work fine. The world map, I have to say, is, and I can't show it to you unfortunately because it's green and copyright, but the world map that they've given us, or the region map, because it's not a whole world, it's just the region, is so uninspiring. I don't understand it. You know, when I look at a map, I want the map to make me go, oh, I want to go there, and what's down there, and what's over there. Here's the map. And you go, is that a forest? It's slightly greener than that area, so I think it's a forest. And then they go and describe these locations. Now, there are 3 major cities, and then there are a whole bunch of other cities that they've included in here. Beautiful descriptions. There's so much lore in here. You could run entire campaigns based just in one of the cities that they've given you. There's all that loving attention and detail, and the map. No disrespect to the map maker. That's their style, and that's what the producers of this book wanted to go with. That's absolutely fine. But for me, it doesn't tick a box. If the map is the only thing, I'm going to redraw it anyway. I did it for Ghosts of Saltmarsh. I'll probably do it again for this one. I have to say, maybe it's because I am a deep lover of the Greek and Roman setting. I love Corinthian helmets and columns that have got Doric or Ionic or Corinthian capitals. I really love that time period. I love the style and the look. And this book, I have to say, it's got it all. So I wish I could give you a discount on purchasing this book, or if you are someone who really enjoys the idea of Greek heroes and you want something that's going to give you 5th edition codified rules, I can't say more. I really like this book. I'm really impressed. I'm really happy. Again, normally I get sent these books. This time I bought it because I wanted to see what it was about, because there was a promise. And all those expectations have been reached. There's a lovely section on the monsters, just on the monsters, right at the back. I wish I could show it to you, but there's sections on how to build your own sort of god-based monsters, and the artwork is just, it's spectacular artwork, I must admit. Where is it now? Of course, I can't find it, but yeah, I am, oh, here we go. How to build your own Chimera. I thought that was wonderful. It's like, well, the thing comes from here and the thing from there and the thing from... This is what you want. This is where you as the GM, you get to say, okay, I'm taking this, but I'm making it my own. And that's it. I'm done. I can't say, oh, it's not. Now, I have not read it line for line. I have read through it going, what's the idea? How do I get this? How do I do that? I will go through it again and look at it line by line. But I would have to say, if it was this or Avernus, this wins hands down. Avernus was adventures with some little bits and pieces around the side. If it was this or Ghosts of Saltmarsh, that's a tough one. I would actually say Complete Guide to Nautical Campaigns. I have to say that, because for me, that's why I wrote that book. Ghosts of Saltmarsh was a good first step, but there were too many adventures in it. It was a campaign. It wasn't this, and this is not a campaign. This is how to make a campaign. So if you're a fan of this channel, yeah, this is brilliant. I want to run this. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I want to. That's it from me. I can't say any more on that. Have you bought the book Mythic Odysseys of Theros? Have you bought that? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think I missed something? Am I too fanboying over the contents of this, going, oh, it's so brilliant, I want to cry? I mean, maybe I am. Maybe I am. Who knows? You tell me in the comments down below. And remember, if you liked the video or the review, or you want to try and convince your players that you want to play in ancient Greece, share the video with them. It's as easy as clicking on the link. So there you are. From me, I want to say a massive thank you to all of my patrons who made purchasing this book possible. And yeah, and thank you to you for watching all the way through to the end. I hope it was informative. I hope it inspired you in some way. I hope it's given you something to think about. I'm really, really impressed with this. I must admit, I like the direction it's gone in. It is what it is. Until next time, however, I wish you and yours the very happiest of gaming.